To Forging a Life Beyond the Curve, calling in your unique destiny with Coach Christine Clark. Imagine you are a ball of steel, smooth, small, and cool to the touch. Your very being is softened by fire as you take hits that shape you. Christine is a transformational life coach dedicated to empowering entrepreneurs to create a whole life success on their terms. On this show, you will be forged into a magnificent, powerful, highly functional work of art that is your significant life. Now, here's your host, Christine Clark.
Join me, Coach Christine Clark, as we forge our lives. We are going to go beyond the curve and call in your unique destiny. Who will you be when you believe you have what it takes? Hello. This is Coach Christine Clark. I am delighted to have you all here with me today. We have a spectacular show. My great friend and longtime partner, business partner is Jennifer Schaefer, and she's going to talk to you about RIM, Regenerating Images in Memory. She is the CEO of Reveal Your Inner Hero. You can find her on the website. Before we dive in, though, I do want to remind you that next month, on September 28th, we are going to have Robin Eaton, my guest. She is the owner of Soul Touched by Robin. She is a shaman and life coach. We're going to deep dive into fate versus destiny, and we're going to do some stone throwing, some soul throwing with her as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure that you plug in on September 28th at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern in the States. Now, Jennifer, my friend, is the consummate student. She loves learning, and because of that, she is got just a very robust background and coach. I'm going to tell you just a few of the certifications that she has. She is a Jungian life coach. She's a facilitator of the RIM, Regenerating Images in Memory. She is a Canfield trainer of the Success Principles, a John Maxwell team member, a facilitator of the Energy Codes, as well as a National Academy of Sports Medicine certified personal trainer. And she is also certified in yoga as an ERYT 200 instructor and a Y12SR yoga instructor. She does mindfulness and meditation practitioner as well. And if you think that's hot, wait until you hear this. Jen is giving away a full RIM session, Regenerating Images in Memory. You can email her at Jenn at revealyourinnerhero.com. Use the subject line Transformation Talk Radio. Include your name, your phone number, and your email address. And you'll be in the running to have a RIM session from Jen. And by the time we get done with this program, you know you're going to want that RIM session. I'm also giving away, Coach Christine, moi, is giving away a laser coaching program. You can put your name in for that by emailing me at forgingalifewithcoachchristine. Christine is CHRISTINE@gmail.com. And if you want, you can also just simply call into the radio station, 1-800-930-2819. Provide your name, your phone number, and your email address, and just say, hey, I want to be put in for the possible earning of RIM session, or I want that laser coaching program, and we'll put your name in. So that's what we want to do throughout the hour today. And now let's meet Jen Schaefer, my good friend. We met back in July of 2015. We were both attending a coaching certification deep dive full week, and we just stayed connected after that. And Jen, I am absolutely delighted to have you here with me today.
Oh, Christine, it is an absolute pleasure, and I am so grateful that our paths have crossed and we've had the opportunity to work together. And I love that Robin's coming on. That's wonderful. Robin's in our community, and she's amazing. So that's going to be pretty exciting. So thank you for having me, Christine.
You are most welcome. You're most welcome. And so I want to talk a little bit about your expertise and where you've come from, Jen, because what you bring to the table for your clients is just has so much depth and breadth. But tell us a little bit about your background, just who you are, where you live. Let's fill in the family stuff.
Okay, fun. So first and foremost, Christine and everyone out there, I'm a mom. I'm a mom to 3 lively boys, and they keep me young. I love being a boy mom, just as I know, Christine, you probably do too. We can relate here in that
Absolutely.
together. Lots of adventures with boys, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's fun.
And yeah, so I'm walking this amazing journey called life with a really loving, genuine man, my husband, Chuck. And he really does make my heart smile. And I wake up grateful each and every day that we found each other. And he has 2 beautiful grown daughters. So together we make 7. And and our little fur baby, Gracie. She is really softening me up. She's softening me up. And so, yeah, that's all the fun family stuff. And I am empty nesting. I just took my youngest off to college last weekend. So moving into a new season of life.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big one. Howard and I are in that too. And I know that you and Chuck are going to navigate that perfectly as well. So tell me a little bit about your education background, the different things. And then I want to, we'll dive into the RIM and you can tell me what, explain to us what that is. But first, give us some background of, some of the other things you've done that help you be, not so to say help you be a RIM facilitator, that's not it, but enhance you as a RIM facilitator. Let's put it that way.
Well, so professionally, my background is I'm a mind body coach. And so what that is transforming lives from the inside out. And I specialize in nourishing and nurturing your mind and body and creating a lifestyle that puts you first, physically and emotionally. And so, yes, I have all of those certifications, and really RIM is my secret sauce. So may I share a personal experience?
Love to, please do.
Okay. Good. So I'm a mom, 3 boys, and I would say about 15 plus years ago now. Oh my gosh, time flies. I scooped my beautiful boys up and popped them in their car seats, and we were heading to school, preschool. And it was a gorgeous, crisp fall morning, and the sun was bright, the sky was blue. And, it's the beginning of the school year. So you have that energy, all of that really fun energy like we have right now. I know my youngest just went off to college and he said, yeah, this is really good energy. I'm really excited and I'm inspired. So he's doing all sorts of fun stuff at college right now, I'm sure. And so I had their lunches packed, their backpacks ready. I put on their beautiful little play clothes and ready for all their activities that they had in store for them. And I walk into school. I walk them into school. I walk them to their classroom. I watch them, go in and put their backpacks away and their lunch bags up on the hook and make their way over to their little preschool table. And I'm just feeling joyful, right? I've got this happy, joyful sensation inside me because I'm so excited for their journey so that they can learn. And I walk out to the car, Christine, and I get in the car, I close the door, and I have my hands on the wheel, and I'm driving out of the parking lot. It's time for me to go do all the errands while they're at school.
Go be the adult.
I know, right? And so as I'm driving out of the parking lot, I really get this distinct energy in my body. And it's like this real heaviness. It's like a sense of sadness and uncertainty, and there's an anxiousness in my body, and it's like this energy is trying to get my attention. It's trying to communicate with me in some way, and I have to say it's uncomfortable. Are you familiar with uncomfortable feelings, Christine?
Absolutely. I think we all
Yeah.
are.
Yeah. And so I'm thinking, I don't have time for this. I don't have time to pay attention to what this uncomfortable feeling is. And so I just decide to ignore it. And I turn on my radio, I distract myself, I go about my business, I run my errands, and I'm busy. And I just, I don't have time. I've got too much going on. And this overwhelming feeling, this uncomfortable feeling is just like all the way down the center of my being. I finish my errands, I zip back over to pick up the boys. And of course, there's this joy because they've just, painted these pictures and, Mom, I want to show you this, I want to show you that. And, we take them home and then we go off to swimming lessons and we go to the park and I've got to make dinner. And, if you're a mom, you probably are starting to relate to all of this. And and I'm brushing off my experience because I really don't have enough time to pay attention to what's going on inside my body. And so, I'm thinking, oh, it's all in the rearview mirror. Or so I think. At any rate, each day passes, each day I wake up and here comes this uncomfortable feeling again, right? And the volume is turning up. And each day that I don't pay attention to this energy in my body, it gets louder and louder. And I continue to find ways to distract myself from it. And so I distinctly remember too, one night after a full day of running around, I climb into bed and I'm just exhausted. Can you relate, Christine?
Absolutely.
At the end of
Absolutely.
a big mom day, I'm
Right.
just exhausted. And what comes over me is this wave of energy. And it's like this massive wave of intense fear. And I'm just like frozen. I remember laying on my side and I couldn't move. My heart was beating out of my chest and I'm finding it really hard to catch my breath. Like, and it's as if there's this giant grizzly bear standing in front of me and just staring me down. I'm just frozen, right? Fight, flight, or freeze, frozen. So something inside me says, just breathe. And I start taking these long breaths and I'm feeling the inhale and the exhale. And I feel a surge of heat run through my body that just scares me to death. And I'm exhausted, I'm scared, I'm drained, and like wired all at the same time. And I have no idea what I just experienced, zero, So the next morning I call my medical doctor. And it's real interesting because there weren't a lot of questions that he asked me really. And he prescribes anti-anxiety medicine. And so I start taking this medicine and it seems like magic in the beginning. And I was just glad to be like out of that excruciating, exhausting loop of running away from these uncomfortable feelings. And so what I learn, I learn while I'm on these meds, these anti-anxiety medications, I learn what it's like to not have that overwhelming experience of these feelings all the time. Right? It's like, wow, this is awesome. This is like cloud nine, baby. And so that seems like a win until I realize that the meds don't cure this.
Right.
And
they mask it.
Yeah,
They help you
it's a
feel better,
Band-Aid.
but right.
Right?
Yeah. Right.
It's a Band-Aid. And then of course there are side effects, right? And so I go back to my doctor and what I realize is that he really doesn't have any other plan to heal or resolve this, right? So which something doesn't add up for me. And I'm like more agitated thinking this is my fate. Take a pill every day for the rest of your life. And so I was like, no, I don't believe this is the answer. And so what I did experience was a panic attack. And there might be some people out there who've experienced one too. And it is frightening. And which for me, Christine, and we've talked about this, it was an accumulation of unresolved trauma that I had experienced during high school and college.
Right. And
Yeah.
so what did that lead you to?
Yeah. And so, what resulted that what that led to was finding a solution, right? And
Mhm.
how that all showed up and what I'm realizing today is how that was showing up in my life and how I was seeing life, how I was doing life, in how I was showing up in my life, my relationships, and especially the relationship with myself, and even more so how I wasn't showing up, right? So I wasn't showing up for myself. I wasn't advocating for myself. I can see that now.
Yeah,
I,
right.
and so
So,
what I was offered was that pill, a Band-Aid,
and you decided not to do the Band-Aid. And so
right?
did that, we're gonna skip the break. We're gonna keep rolling here because I want to relate this to the rim. So what was that point? Were you already doing yoga and meditation, or did that launch your yoga and meditation?
That launched my yoga and meditation.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
absolutely did. And meditation was enormous. It was huge.
Right.
And I love this quote by Carl Jung. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's such a good quote. So I want to jump into the RIM, the regenerating images in memory. So tell me, what drew you into RIM? Because I know that you happened to bump into these people. They talked about their program, and you went to one of their things, and then you went all the way to become a facilitator and also co-host their training for new people coming in. So what was it about RIM that totally captivated you and said, I want to be a part of this. I want to do this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So I discovered RIM, Christine, when I was training with Jack Canfield. And Jack is the author of the Success Principles and the Chicken Soup for the Soul series. You might
Mm-hmm.
recognize that. And so while I was at this training, I sat down and had lunch with the RIM creator herself, Dr. Deb Spandella. And
Yeah.
Dr. Deb and the RIM Institute are based out of Denver, Colorado. And she is the author of Goodbye Hurt and Pain. Highly recommend her book. It is amazing. And she is, and has been in the mental health industry for over 25 years.
Okay.
And so I'm having lunch with her, and what I learned at the lunch table doesn't even compare to what I experienced when I had a session. So RIM, regenerating images in memory, is an effective technique that allows one to identify and express emotions safely. It's a body-centered, non-clinical technique that collaborates with our inherent emotional system. Our emotional operating system is what I like to call it.
Right.
And it works.
So when you were talking about the anxiety attacks and this feeling of unsettledness that eventually led you to the doctor, try a pill, don't want to live like this, choose something else. So, and you're telling that story, I'm thinking that RIM has got to be a piece of what cleared some of that past trauma that you were living with that had built up over the years. I know you've done a lot of deep work in the coaching certifications that we attended together, and you've done a lot with a lot of different people. Tell me about RIM as far as for the other people that might say, yeah, lots of what's showing up today is past trauma. Because isn't that what RIM does? Isn't it specific? I mean, to go back and handle that past stuff so that we can live more present, more aware?
It
Or am
absolutely
I
does.
like totally left
Oh,
field
you're on
here?
it. You're
Okay.
absolutely on it. Yeah, it works on the principle that we have an organic emotional operating system that naturally knows how to deepen positive feelings and dissolve the negative ones. Yeah. And
Cool.
so, yeah, what Carl Jung says is that what we resist not only persists, but expands. And
Mhm.
so we resist the negative emotion and it gets stuck in our body and it begins to expand in
So
the body.
how does RIM do that? How does RIM, I mean, how does it do that?
So it does it's really kind of magic. RIM also stands for releasing the inner magician. And Dr. Deb has put together this beautiful array of different modalities that she's brought together, amongst other things that have just come through her. Yeah, so it's like interactive guided imagery and somatic techniques. So you really do get inside the body to effectively check in and move the emotions, process them. And neuroscience confirms what she's been teaching for years. And so, yes, we go in and have this experience. It is a whole brain experience. So it's an intellectual experience as well as a felt body experience. And when you bring those two together, there comes change, because you're not just willpowering your way through this. You actually feel differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the Forging Life that I work with people, I talk about, there's a whole section on our initial forging, which is, how we're drawn out from birth to present day, and our experience forms us, society shapes us, the world, our parents, everything. And that as we develop and become formed by the outside world, as adults, some of that stuff doesn't serve us anymore. Some of the ideas you made up about who you were or what's possible don't work. And so what I hear in the RIM is that part of what you do is walking people back to their intuitive selves. In the Forging of Life, it's what I call going back to your elemental self, because that element is there, all your best stuff, and that identity of who you are is there, and you just have to get it uncovered. So in my mind, RIM is like taking people back to that essence, to that self.
Yeah. So the way you see and approach situations and relationships, the RIM process updates the original programming and conditioning. It removes the blocks that we don't even know we have. It creates the positive outcomes that we desire. Right.
So if somebody,
like today, oh, go ahead.
Yeah. So if somebody, how would somebody know that maybe they should maybe check you out and do a RIM session, or, get coaching? Because we talked a little bit about, red flags. So, and you had such a beautiful description about what people might sense. Like originally, like when you were talking about your original story, how you ignored it. I'm busy, I don't have time, but the niggling piece. So what are some of the things that might be showing up for people that might be an indicator to go talk to somebody?
Yeah. So, we all have grown up in our own conditioning, right? So that's our normal. And as we move through life, you start to get triggered by people. You start projecting off onto other people. So like the panic attack was obviously a big wake up call. Yeah. But just feeling uncomfortable. If your relationships aren't working, there could be some conditioning that's underlying there. Maybe you have had some traumatic experiences, and some things in your life maybe aren't quite going the way you feel you want them to go. And so if you drop into your body and realize things are working or not working, intellectually or emotionally, it might be fun to reach out. And so a complimentary session, of course, is always available. And if you have questions, you can email. Yeah,
absolutely. We're going to take a break here in just a little bit. And when we come back, Jen is going to walk us through a RIM session, a little mini RIM session. And if you would like to have Jen walk you through the RIM session, you can call in now. It's 1-800-930-2819 and get that. Otherwise, Jen is going to just kind of do a little walk for everybody, because you do this both in groups as well as one-on-one. Is that correct?
That's right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So when we come back, we're going to do that, and want to remind everybody that Jen is giving away a full RIM session. You can email her at jen@revealingyourinnerhero.com. Use the subject line, Transformation Talk Radio. Include your name, your phone number, and your email address. And you can also put in your name for a laser coaching program from me, Coach Christine Clark, and email forgingalifewithcoachchristine@gmail. Use the subject line laser coaching, include your name, your phone number, and email address. And of course, you can call in for that. My guest today is Jennifer Schaefer, and you can connect with her on her website, which is revealyourinnerhero.com. And we're going to take a break. And then when we come back, Jen's going to walk us through a RIM session.
All right. All clear, ladies.
Thank you, Benny.
Thank you.
All right. We skipped their first break. We're about halfway through.
Okay.
So when we come back, we're going to dive into RIM.
Okay.
And
I'll do a short version.
that would be lovely. I was just going to ask Benny how one break is fine too, if you want. Okay. He's let me know that we can.
Thank you.
How to fit all this in.
Hey, I have total respect. I have
Feeling the complexity of life? Do you feel that urge to step into something greater? Tune in to Nailed It
So,
Radio. Find your simplicity within your complexity
able to just
with
take
me,
us through
life
it,
coach
and,
Carrie Nail.
when we
Tune
come
in
back,
each month on
I'll
TransformationTalkRadio.com to
and,
discover what it means to use your full power
talk
to be
about
the
the
best
giveaways.
version of yourself. Imagine stepping into the energy
And
of
then
saying
just
yes to
let
yourself
you,
and knowing you nailed
go
it.
right
For
into
more
the group
information
and,
about me, visit CarrieNail.com.
It takes courage to step into your calling and go for your dreams.
Questions.
Sabotage monsters can get in your way, preventing you from reaching your potential. You can choose to struggle alone, or you can choose community and support, someone to walk beside you, meeting you where you are. If you are ready to make real and lasting change, Coach Christine Clark is here for
I
you.
think that I may have
Find out
answered
more
your
about
question.
one-on-one coaching and group programs with Coach
Already.
Christine at sunglowtransformation.com.
Okay. Yep. He hears us.
Are you ready to invest in your best self? Join Sabrina Wright as she shares tools for creating
You look
joy and
lovely
balance
today.
in your life every single day.
Thank you, so
Sabrina
do you.
is here to help you become your greatest
Yeah, you've
advocate
got all your
and
radio
empower you
gear
to
on,
make
too.
decisions
Right.
that will help you live your best life. The Live the Good Life Show, connecting
Oh,
your
this is
physical
fun. I
and
really
spiritual
appreciate the
self. Every
opportunity.
second Thursday at
Oh, you're
11 a.m.
welcome.
Pacific on
and so fun that
TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Robin's coming on.
Find Sabrina
Yeah,
at the right,
enjoying it.
WRIGHT, balance.com.
It's gonna be good.
Tune in to the show Heart Change
And then you're gonna have
Consciousness
Cindy
with
too,
me,
right?
Dr. Trish DeRocher, as stories of inspired activism
We're gonna
come
do
to
a
life.
podcast.
Listening to conversations
Can I have her
with your
come
favorite
on?
authors,
Um,
change makers, and many more who practice inspired spiritual activism and transform vulnerabilities into
If,
sources
when,
of strength.
not if.
Let's be inspired
They
together
launched
through
their
my show, Heart
retreats where
Change
they're
Consciousness,
combining the-
on
the financial and the
TransformationTalkRadio.com.
couples training.
Certified life
love
and
to have her as
leadership
a
coach
guest on
Jennifer
the show.
Schaefer provides a heart-centered, holistic approach to a strong mind-body, self-care lifestyle.
Yeah.
As a RIM facilitator, regenerating
Yeah, we're gonna
images
do
and
a
memory,
podcast.
Jennifer is part of a professional community called the RIM Institute that is launching Project Heal. Project Heal is a program to help school teachers
This
and
is a
students
picture I took
recover and
this
move
morning
forward
while I
with a
was
way to
out
maintain
walking.
emotional health and safety in
I
the
was gonna say, it
classroom.
looked
That's
like
my neighborhood.
Connect with Jen to learn more about Project Heal at revealyourinnerhero.com.
We've got all sorts of locusts everywhere. So they're all like on all the tree branches and everything.
Ready to come back?
Okay.
Stand by. Here we go.
All right, and we are back with Forging a Life with Coach Christine, going beyond the curve, calling in your unique destiny. We are doing some giveaways during this hour. I want to remind you to go ahead and put in your name for a RIM session with Jennifer Schaefer. You can email her at jen@revealingyourinnerhero.com. Subject line, Transformation Talk Radio. Include your name, your phone number, and your email address. You can also put in your name for a laser coaching program from me, Coach Christine Clark. email Forging a Life with Coach Christine at gmail.com. Subject line laser coaching. Include your name, phone number, and email address. And when you want to get a hold of Jen and follow up after today's program, make sure you go visit her on her website at revealyourinnerhero.com. And Jen, we're going to dive in and do a RIM experience. I'm just going to turn this over to you and let you lead us through.
Okay, super. Thank you, Christine. So what I want to say, first of all, is that when you do a private session, it is by phone or Zoom. So I've worked with people from all over the world. So it's really accessible to everyone. And it's a very individual experience based on exactly where you are and what you're experiencing. And so individual sessions range, they might be around 60 to 90 minutes, kind of plus or minus on average. And today, because we are not together, you might be at home or out for a walk or at the office listening. And so the best thing to do is just find your way into a comfortable chair. And some of my clients like to recline, and you will get the opportunity to experience this in a more general way. So I was just talking about the individual way. This is a little more general way, and it may feel a little bit like guided imagery, but it's still very evocative at a deep level in a real active way. So what you create is more powerful than what I can suggest. So it is truly your experience, and you can go faster or slower, and everyone will have a different experience. So that is absolutely perfect, and you cannot do this wrong. And I should preface, this should not be done while you're in motion. So no driving, because it is a closed eye experience.
Don't close your eyes. Pull over, please. Yes.
That's right.
Okay. All right.
And so, yeah, we want you to be safe. And so go ahead and find that comfortable seat. And what we'll do is we'll get started. And so with a big deep breath in through your nose, a big audible exhale, and just let those eyes close. And just breathing in and out. As you relax into your body, as you let everything outside of you be outside of you, as you tune into your physical body. And you might notice a physical sensation, maybe a muscle twitch or a joint for some of us that maybe aren't getting younger. And then just gently beginning to notice the energy in your body. As you drop down right behind your belly button into that intuitive space, and just trusting all answers to any questions today will just spontaneously spring forth in your mind easily and effortlessly through your imagination as words, images, feelings, impressions, and just, again, however it shows up is absolutely perfect. Whatever wants to be known today will come through you. And so just sensing in your body the energy and just noticing where that is. It might be in the chest, in the belly. You might still be in the head, who knows? And your imagination will just bring forth form to this energy as you just notice how much space it's taking up. There might be a size, a shape, a color. There might even be an image to this energy. Just as you let all of your imagination do all the work, just receive what shows up. And just notice it, noticing the details. And then just allowing your awareness to move into that form, that color, that image. As you move into it, your imagination will bring forth a virtual resource who wants to be with you today. It could be anyone or anything. It could be a deity of your faith, a wise ancestor, It could be something from nature. It could be a pet, a friend, it could even be a superhero, and just whoever or whatever shows up just like that. Noticing who has shown up for you or what. Noticing the details. Noticing if they're in front of you or beside you. Notice how it feels that your virtual resource has shown up for you. And just allowing your imagination, allowing your awareness to move directly into your virtual resource, looking back at you. And from that perspective, looking over at you, go ahead and speak out loud or silently. What I sense is weighing on you is. And looking over from the virtual resources perspective, what I hear, what I want you to know is. And self, what I know to be absolutely true for you is. And what I would change if I could. And what I want for you is. And speaking from your virtual resource to yourself, what I want you to remember is. And anything else your virtual resource wants to share with you, go ahead and express that now. And how it feels to share this with you is. And then just moving your awareness back into yourself, looking over at your virtual resource. As you look at your virtual resource, you'll just notice a stream of colored energy moving from your virtual resource into you of all that's just been shared, spoken, and expressed. And just notice the color, the quality of that energy, where it's moving from your virtual resource, where it's entering into your body. As you receive all that energy, as you allow it to fill you from the soles of your feet to the crown of your head. So it's flowing within you and around you. As you look back at your virtual resource, go ahead and speak aloud or silently. What I hear you saying to me, what I am receiving from you is. And what it's like to hear this from you now, virtual resource. And what I'm realizing, what I'm becoming aware of is just sensing the new awareness in your body. Just notice where that's showing up. Noticing the color, the texture of that energy. And just go ahead and move into that energy and continue speaking to your virtual resource from there. What I want or need from you now is. And anything else that wants to be shared, go ahead and express that now to your virtual resource. And then just taking this opportunity to say goodbye to your virtual resource, or you can ask it to stay, or if they would be available, whatever makes sense, whatever makes the most sense for you and your virtual resource. And when you're ready, you know you retain every detail of the wisdom and support felt from this resource, anchored deep into every cell of your body, available to you now, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, and into your future as a permanent part of you and your experience. And your subconscious lets you know that this is complete by bringing full weight and feeling back into your body, your arms, your legs, your fingers, your toes, and just when you're ready, spontaneously opening your eyes, coming back into the room. Welcome back.
That is beautiful, Jen. Thank you for that. Anybody who is listening would like to call in and share the experience you just had, you are welcome to. The number is 1-800-930-2819, 2819, 1-800-930-2819. And Jen, thank you for that. That was lovely. That was lovely.
You're welcome.
I will tell you, my virtual resource showed up as a hawk because that's my spirit animal. My spirit animal showed up for me. And what I'm recognizing is that I was checking the time, kind of seeing where we were at, paying attention to a little bit to the radio station, and also stepping into what I was feeling in my body, what was showing up. And it was lovely. Good confidence, inspiring. It felt warm. It felt nurturing. And what what'd you call it? The virtual resource?
The virtual
resource. Yeah. Being able to have that conversation, what that virtual resource sees in the person and confirms, and then taking the shift to speaking from the virtual resource to you and anything that you want to say to it. Very empowering to be able to drill down to what's there, as far as, for me, confidence that I'm capable, I can do this. Yeah, all that good stuff showed up, which is awesome. Tell me what other, so tell me what your experience as a facilitator was, and if you would share some of the experiences that other people have done room with you.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
So Christine, I have done like hundreds of sessions now, and I work a lot with entrepreneurs and women, and it's really been life-changing for me, my own experience, but also others. So if it's okay, I'll share a few testimonials that I've received back, and this is a testimonial. It's been really amazing. I feel more myself, if that makes sense, more empowered and at peace. It just feels stronger as an emotional, I feel stronger as an emotional being, and I see where I really need to focus and parts I need to just let go of. Thanks again. You are so kind to do what you do for other humans. So it is really a powerful experience. It does bring more confidence in for a lot of my clients. And biggest wins, hand down, this is another one. Biggest win, hands down, was my RIM session. Not only did it shatter years of programming, it was the catalyst that made me realize it was time to step up in my life. And so too, like we talked about the conditioning and the programming we take on as we grow up. Is it serving you today? Maybe it served you back then, and maybe it's not serving you so much today. So this is a way to shift that. Yeah. I've noticed a huge difference in my confidence. That's another one. It's truly been life-changing. I love this one because this is so true. So I am much more aware of my surroundings and my emotions since the session. I am able to detect when my emotions change much better. And I guess you could say my emotional intelligence has improved.
Yeah. One of the images that we had for the show was actually an aerial view. It's green and there's concentric rings to it. And it's actually just a aerial view of the Maradar Desert. But when we looked at this image, it looked like the Nautilus, which is the concentric down to the very center, and then of course the rotating lines out. There's shells. It's repeated in all different places in nature, and I think that that's really a way to think about or feel the regenerating the images and memory, is that it takes you into the center of yourself. It walks you through that, so you can connect there.
Yeah. And the Nautilus it is a symbol of transformation.
Right. Yeah. So as you grow, and which is fabulous, which is beautiful. And thank you for sharing this, and thank you for walking through. And I'm excited for the recording, so we can all go back and re-listen and connect to this RIM session and have this conversation with our virtual say it again for me, Jen.
A virtual resource.
Virtual resource, or a virtual resource, which is beautiful because it's just whatever shows up, which is really, really beautiful, which is great. And you're doing a very special thing with this, and the people from RIM, what is the name of the group, the organization?
Yeah, so it's the RIM Institute, and we're working on it's called Project Heal.
Right.
And so, yeah, I'm really excited to be a part of this project. We're bringing RIM into the schools, and it's a pilot program, Christine, to train teachers and school staff so that they can be supported and teach their kiddos how to identify and express emotion safely. So think about all of the kids in school right now, you know, especially during the pandemic, right? So this pandemic year, our threshold for stress has lessened, and some experts are suggesting we have a global mental health pandemic. And this is interesting, the general population rates of depression and anxiety have quadrupled and tripled respectively. Absolutely. And a recent survey of parents found that nearly half have noticed a new or worsening mental health condition in their teenage children since the pandemic started.
Yeah. So tell me, what age group does Project Heal target? Is it for elementary, or you said young people? So then I was thinking maybe middle school or high school, but what ages of children do you work with? And do you work with just the teachers, or do you work?
Yeah, so we're working to train the teachers so the teachers can go in and do RIM activities in their classroom, and also work one-on-one with students.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, those students who might have emotional, needs, and it's just a lovely way to learn how to experience emotion so that it's a positive experience.
Right.
So it's a real positive experience.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, is that if you can get them young, get to them early, and learn how to manage their emotions, or through the RIM untangle some of the knots that are started. I don't know a single adult that has come into coaching that doesn't wish that, wouldn't it have been nice if I hadn't developed this issue, in my infancy or in my youth, or whatever it is, and to take that into the schools and use it as a way of managing mental health in schools for the children. I just think is fantastic.
We're bringing emotional wellness. It's very proactive, right? It's very proactive, and it's loving, and the children are heard and seen and felt, and it makes a huge difference.
Right. So the RIM Institute goes in and works with teachers. So then teachers can do this with children. So you do this both one-on-one and in groups. So would this be something you'd do as a teacher would ultimately do with a group of kids, or would it be more one-on-one as needed?
Yeah, both. So and it works really well. So the social emotional learning programs that they have in place, it's a great way to learn about emotions, and RIM, regenerating images and memory, is a great way to learn how to experience emotion.
Right. That is fantastic. Jen, this has been just lovely. I'm delighted to have had you on today as my guest. Thank you for showing up, and thank you for taking us through a RIM session, so everybody could have a feel for what that looks like and what the possibilities are. There's nothing like actual experience to nail that.
Absolutely.
So, thank you. It's been absolutely lovely. I appreciate it so much. My guest today is Jennifer Schaefer, and she is, you can find her at Revealing Your Inner Hero. If you have questions about the Project Heal, talk to her, connect with her there. And of course, you can get a hold of her through email at jen@revealingyourinnerhero.com. You can also hook up with me at sunglowtransformation.com. Find me on my website, on LinkedIn, the Facebook, and Instagram as well. And Jen, this has been fabulous. Thank you so much for joining me today, and for giving Christine, this experience to everybody.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Christine, for all you do for your clients and the community.
You are, oh, I received that. Thank you. Right. So this has been Forging a Life with Coach Christine, going beyond the curve, calling in your unique destiny. My guest today is Jennifer Schaefer. You can find her at revealingyourinnerhero.com.
All clear, ladies. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.